Hi, welcome back. So, in the last video, I revealed a new turbine dyno, and I received a lot of feedback about the testing procedure. When I created the testing procedure, I made some assumptions that might have been wrong. I think we should address some of the comments that I received. Most of them clustered around inertia and mass. So, why would inertia or mass be an issue? Well, heavier turbines store more kinetic energy. Dissipating that energy by applying a brake too quickly could produce a huge spike in torque. This effect will be more pronounced on turbines with higher peak RPM, because power is the product of torque and RPM. Why didn't I think this was a problem? Well, while I was researching, I stumbled on a video testing servos and stepper motors by a YouTuber named James on the Cloud42 YouTube channel. James came to the conclusion that mass did not have a significant effect on his results, and I kind of assumed my dyno and test were similar enough that mass wasn't going to be an issue. I'll link to those videos down in the description. Now, before we go fixing a bunch of stuff that might not be broken, we should probably test and see if this is an issue. And to do that, we need two identical turbines. Here they are, two identical NACA 0018 turbines. Can you spot the difference?
I'll give you a second to figure it out. Well, yeah, they're different colors, but also the green one is about 2.5 times heavier. If mass isn't an issue, these turbines should produce reasonably similar outputs and efficiencies.
Let's get these in the wind tunnel and see what happens. The heavier turbine definitely takes more time to accelerate. They have nearly identical maximum RPM, but they have drastically different maximum output and efficiencies. The lighter turbine averaged 4.69% efficiency over 4 runs, and the heavier averaged 13.03. That's a problem. So first, we'll throw away all of the previous results. Then, start over. Luckily, I didn't get the memo about No Effort November, so I've been working on this for a while now. And the solution comes in 2 parts: brake pressure precision and braking rate. We'll start with braking precision. I discovered this when I was reviewing the footage from the original video. The servo looked a little too jumpy compared to the brake positions I'd been calculating. Part of this is the mechanical side of the brake itself. And like everything else, I sort of rushed through the original design. And as a result, it's only using a small portion of the servo's range, effectively reducing the brake's resolution. The brake mechanism is something called a 4-link. 1, 2, 3, 4. And by adjusting these 4 lengths, we're able to double the servo's usable range. And that should hopefully increase our brake's resolution. If you'd like to learn more about 4 links and their applications, there's a great video by Teaching Tech down in the description. The next thing we need to fix is a bug in the firmware. I was unintentionally converting the brake's position from a float to an integer. That was causing the servo to jump from one whole number to the next, skipping everything in between. The next big issue is the rate at which we increase the brake pressure. Originally, we were applying the full force of the brake over a period of 20 seconds, causing a noticeable torque spike. This is something we need to solve in software. So I'll glaze over all of the code because it's very boring. The new procedure increases the brake pressure until the turbine begins to decelerate. At that point, it will hold the braking pressure until the turbine stops and ends the test. With the brake hopefully fixed, the last thing we need to look at is the load cell. Again, if we look at the original video, you'll notice something odd about the torque measurements. They look kind of like stairs. This is a limitation of the load cell's analog to digital converter, also known as an ADC. An ADC takes the analog signal coming from the load cell and converts it into something my computer can understand. It's actually just slow, like 10 samples per second slow. We are able to increase that to 80 samples per second, but with a little bit of math, we'll see that even this is not enough for our faster turbines. At 3000 RPM, which is the fastest we've seen, That would be about 1.6 samples per revolution. Why do we care? Turbines don't produce the same torque throughout their entire rotation. It can vary depending on when the sample was taken. And if we can't sample fast enough, it's very likely that we'll miss peak torque. This is a problem we have to throw money at. So I saved up my dollary dues and I bought a better ADC. It can sample at 320 Hz, or 320 samples per second, which comes out to about 6 samples per revolution at 3000 RPM. It's still not great, but it's the best I can do for now. Alright, with that out of the way, let's stick these turbines back in the improved windy hole and see if we can remove the effects of mass. Well, that's not great. This is what raw dogging the data straight from the ADC looks like now. It's completely unusable. This is also something we can fix in software by implementing an improved version of the Wiener filter. This improved Wiener filter is known as a Kalman filter. And if you watch the BPS YouTube channel
with a Kalman filter,
you've probably heard of a Kalman filter. They can be both accurate and fast if you spend the time to tune them properly. Did I do that? The light turbine averaged 4.93% efficiency, and the heavy averaged 5.39%. I'm pretty happy with being within 0.5% of each other, though the results do still favor the heavy turbine. I think I'll start recording the weight of each turbine before testing. But as always, let me know what you think down in the comments. Alright, what did we learn today? Well, 1. The weight does matter. 2. Sometimes even dumb people like myself can admit when they're wrong. 3. Wiener filters are a thing. And finally, sometimes the comments are right, but very rarely. If you liked what we did here today and you don't want to miss out, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Okay, thanks, bye!